All right, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Lost Legion. I'm your host, JR, with my buddy here, Jose. Say what's up, man.
Yo, yo.
All right, boys. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of things dropped since LVO and a lot of transmissions. So, Jose, the first thing I want to talk about is the Imperial Remnants. They dropped the Battle Force, man. What do you think?
Battle forces should be illegal. I mean, I mean, it has some restrictions like the range to command bubble and all that stuff, but it's not really a downfall when you're outside of range two. Everything is getting what is it, independent aim or dodge.
Yeah.
Like bring Gideon and send a Death Trooper or Dark Trooper out in the middle of nowhere, and now that thing has a free aim with
Mm-hmm.
that dice
Mm-hmm.
pool. Um, I'm a fan of the shenanigans they're doing with the core rule, the core trooper rule, being able to do special forces counts as, and the other one being you get to take a one of before you double down. That's dope. The only thing that I think gets kind of confusing is there's no model cross there's no counterpart models like when you get them onto a bubble because it's that range two band. Where did this sab go, or who has the DLT, or
Mm-hmm.
who was short, what does that short 21B belong to, like. But overall, it looks dope. It looks fun. I like that you can't cheese it so much, breaking the rules with it.
I disagree with you. I think you can break a lot of things with this Battle Force. In fact, let me go over it with everybody since they haven't heard of it. So this is called the Imperial Remnant Battle Force. You don't get any new cards, which I think is a bummer.
Bummer.
Um, so the special rules are an Imperial Remnant Battle Force is a part of the Galactic Empire faction. The following units count as a core unit for the purpose of any army building, which is Scout Troopers and Imperial Death Troopers. When building an army, an Imperial Remnant Battle Force cannot take more than one of each unit with a core rank until at least one of each has been taken. This army may not include detachments. When issuing orders, a nominated commander unit can only issue orders at range 1 and 2. Units beyond range 2 of a friendly commander unit gain independent aim and or dodge. Units may only use the courage value of a commander unit at range 1 and 2 instead of the 1 to 3. Any non-droid trooper unit in the army with a heavy upgrade icon may equip a heavy upgrade with one of the following units requirements, ignoring the requirement short trooper only, stormtroopers only, scout troopers only, and imperial jet troopers only, which I love that. The allowed units are Commander Gideon and an Imperial officer. Special forces are scout troopers, no strike teams, Imperial jet troopers. You can have 1 to 2 stormtroopers and 1 to 2 short troopers for your core. Supports are the speeder bike and the E-Web. Heavies, you can take Imperial Dark Troopers, and then the unique upgrade allowed is a Dark Saber. Rank requirements are Commander and Operative. Each army must include 1 to 2 commanders and operative units. At least one unit must be a commander. It's so funny that they say operative, like, but you can't take any of the
It's
allowed
future
ones.
proofing. I think it's future
Which
proofing.
I guess so. Cores, you can have up to 3 to 6, minimum 3, up to 6. Supports, each army may include up to 2 supports, and heavy, each army may include up to 2 heavy units. Skirmish rank requirements are commander and operative must include 1 to 2. Core is 2 to 4. Support is may include up to 1, and then heavy may include up to 1 heavy. I like the thematic of it. I think the thematic is pretty sweet. It's pretty. I like the whole like they're all just remnants. I think that goes along with it pretty well. But I think pretty much like imagine. I actually agree with you on our conversation we were talking. I think battle forces should be banned from high competitive play. I think local tournaments and just fun tournaments are fine, but like in the high competitive, like LVO, Adepticon, I think they should be banned. And I hate using that word because I don't like banning anything. But like, bro, imagine playing this with Imperial Death Troopers, Short Troopers, all of them with snipers. Here's one.
No, I don't.
You don't think that's gonna be good?
No. No, they're already memeing it on the Discord. Somebody brought that up, and it was like, oh my God, six snipers. It's that guy that's like, the good idea. And
Yeah.
then it's like, then he's like, oh, but everything has heavy cover. Like,
Yeah, but
what makes a sniper good on the strikes is the sharpshooter. I
sure.
mean, and then if you're gonna come into range three to get a pierce one shot, like, all right, get your pierce one shot. I'm gonna make you eat everything afterwards.
Yeah, but I
So
mean,
spiciness would be Death Troopers with sabs.
no, why?
Yes,
Why?
red save surging down, just marching forward and just throwing bombs.
I think you do is you put snipers in them, and then range three, you're shooting what, four blacks, two blacks, and now you're searching the hit. Same thing goes for shores. Well, you're not searching the hit for shores, but like you don't get the white saves anymore off the scout trooper. Maybe one scout trooper because you have to take one.
I've been scarred by way too many OP loot lightsaber smashes to trust black dice.
Yeah, but if you
You
just
witnessed it.
yeah,
You witnessed it.
but if you manage to get one through off behind heavy cover, that's already one dead unit, and they can't spin any dodges. No, wait,
And
I
then
take that
what?
back. They can't spin
And then
dodges.
what?
Yeah, they
And
can.
then what happens then is, so I'm an art guy.
Mm,
I'm also a full scout team guy. I'm a full rebel command. Like I, I love full sniper strike teams. That's cool. Come forward, take your one wound, and then I'm gonna pick your death troopers to pieces.
mm.
Your
But
three strike teams is three guaranteed wounds on death troopers.
you're also forgetting independent aim or dodge. Just like,
High velocity, that dodge isn't gonna help you.
well, no, yeah, yeah, it is. Well, high velocity, sure,
With
if it's strike team, yeah. But I'm talking
That's what I'm
about like
saying. Like if
they
you
have.
bring it, go ahead.
I was gonna say if I'm independent aim and I'm shooting, let's just use dead troopers as an example. Four blacks, and then the sniper is two blacks, six blacks coming at you, and I take another aim. So I have two aims, and I don't know the math on it, but I'm pretty sure you get something through, right?
Seeing it failed, bro. You're gonna get something through. I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying that if you're gonna move your dead troopers up to do that, if I see dead troopers with sniper rifles, my arcs are just gonna go and take three models every
Sure,
time.
sure, but you got to dwindle it
It,
down just to get the sniper, and then there's six of them, bro. Who do you
nah.
shoot at?
You take the SAB model, you get the extra death trooper die from that SAB model, and then you march across just throwing bombs.
You want to play like Edward just going throwing them.
Edward is gonna champion this list. We're gonna see Gideon, like two dark troopers, two death troopers. And they're gonna have sabs, like he's gonna put bombs in every. The dark troopers are gonna have bombs. Like Edward, this
Um,
is a list that Edward is gonna champion, and he's gonna hurt somebody. He's gonna hurt him real deep.
Hot take. I hope they make all arm actions a free action, and I
No.
I think you start seeing more sabs coming into play.
So the core aspect rule change, making special forces core. Why I dig that so much is because that just opens the door for Rogue One. You Commander Cassian, Jin, K2, and you get to count your Pathfinders as core. I'll go buy three more boxes of Pathfinders, and I'm running nine Pathfinders, three as special forces, six as core,
You
and I'm
think
gonna
you think they're gonna do remnant rebel forces?
no, not Remnant, the Rogue One, yeah.
Yeah, I
But
can see Rogue One. I can see.
Battle Forces opens up so many terrible doors, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Like
like it.
I don't I like it for the thematicness of it,
Mhm.
but that's what should have stopped. When they said these battle forces are not competitive, they are thematic, I was okay with it.
Right.
Because like we had said earlier in the day, like Shadow Collective is perfect. It's unless you're specking into fully loaded pikes or fully loaded Black Sun or fully loaded Mandos, it's not that bad. And then when you mix and match, better. It's more flavor. But nothing in Shadow Collective is gonna steamroll everything at an event. Blizzard Force, on the other hand, is steamrolling everything at every event. they said, Ewoks are gonna come out and they're gonna have a damn incognito ATST.
Hmm.
Who knows what they're gonna have? What I think their model count was like 8 base or 7 base. It was some ridiculous that they
Yeah,
said. It
that's
was
a
like
lot.
8 wounds. Or let's say that their base is 8 wounds. You're already I struggle to deal with hordes of B1s that are throwing white dice. Now you're telling me I got to deal with a horde of Ewoks that can take my gun and break it? Like, like that's the hot take right here, right now. That's the Blizzard Force counter. When if Blizzard Force does not get nerfed, Ewoks come out. Oh, that's a nice HRU there. It'd be a shame if I took your weapon and used it on you.
See,
Like it shouldn't be that way.
well, I agree that to the competitive level. Like maybe it shouldn't be because I think the battle forces are a cool, fun way to play the game. But like you said, like it opens up so many doors of like not fun to play against potentially in a high competitive. A good what I do like that they're doing with the battle force is introducing units that necessarily wouldn't be in that faction, like Ewoks. Like they really weren't the rebels, but you could have a Ewok battle force. Gungans. I know they'll probably come out Gungans, right?
Yeah,
They
yep.
weren't. They
And I'm
weren't
gonna be
the
all over it.
right. I bet you that's when Qui-Gon comes out when the Gungans come out.
Commander for the Gungans.
Yeah, like technically the Gungans weren't a part of the Republic, but you can have a battle force of Gungans in it, and I like that concept. I like what they're doing with that. But to revamp the faction itself with its own battle force of using units, it's kind of like, well, now you're kind of twisting it a little bit and modifying it. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes out. We'll see what AMG does because as of right now, no one's. I haven't seen no one play Imperial Remnant,
It
and
doesn't look it doesn't look overpowering on paper, but that's on paper.
well, Blizzard Force didn't look
Um,
overpowering either at first, right? And then people
we
analyzed it.
kind of knew the HRUs were going to be an issue, but nobody saw the bikes doing what they did with that fourth bike. Because
Hmm.
I used to play Empire back in the day, and I ran 3 bikes, and I thought 3 bikes was fun until they started getting blown up.
Yeah.
Um, a fourth bike does make a difference, and that's the crazy part. Everybody knew the HRUs were going to be an issue. But then they just took it to like the meta level because when I was like, oh, 2 heavies on a HRU, that's dope. I'm gonna do the RC something, the one red with the 3 white, and then I was gonna do the T21 for another freaking 4 white. I was gonna throw 11 white dice at you and think I was amazing.
Hmm.
And then people are like, nah, you just do this and you make an Iron Spider pool and then it's better. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is better. I'm
uh,
used to the slot machines.
yeah, give a gamble. What's no nice is I know you had talked about it in Discord. Is what were the three things that you couldn't do for the Battle Force?
Yeah, so I
Imperial
was
Remnant specifically.
yeah, this pertains to Imperial Remnants. So I was on the rules forum. I like to dip into the rules forum every now and then. I may or may not destroy somebody's rule forums question section, but it is what it is. I found it interesting. So somebody asked in the Discord, I believe it was Ryan from Stabcast. He asked about commanding presence and inspiring presence affecting the ranges for Imperial Remnants because they're innately their ranges, command ranges too. Um, what the presence cards do is they increase your range by one. And LJ ruled on it that because the range two is a built-in restriction, those cards have zero effects on the army itself. So if you're thinking you're gonna take it, you're just wasting points. Fun on the funnier side though, if you happen to get war weary, that two now becomes a one because it's a game condition, not a card that's altering your rules. And that's one thing with battle forces that I like. The restrictions are holding and they're not bending those restrictions for anything.
Yeah. Hot take is so when I was playing around with Dark Troopers, I like giving them the loyalty programming. But if you're
You
running the
don't need
battle
it.
force, yeah, you just do independent aim, and it's just a whole lot better. It saves you about 5 points of upgrading.
Do you think you take them in the Remnant Battle Force?
Yeah, I think you at least take one. I feel like the Dark Troopers are really strong right now because you're shooting, if you have a fully kitted out one, you're shooting 9 dice at range three, and
12
then,
wounds.
yeah, 12 wounds, and then 11 dice at range two plus blast. The problem is they don't search, besides their critical one. But if you give them the loyalty program, and I like pairing them up with Veers because Veers can give an aim. So then they have two aims off a loyalty program and Veers spotter. You usually get a big chunk through. Um,
The disrespect to Gideon. Gideon goes with Dark Troopers. Gideon has Entourage Dark Troopers. Gideon, take a seat. I'm bringing beers.
yeah, it's just like, yeah. Although
I
in this
good.
one, Gideon does have observe one. I don't think it's that great, but observe one, and then if they have independent aim for themselves, then they can take another aim. So it's two aims and observe one. But in Veer's build I did, you can have three aims. Like even better.
I've yet to see Dark Troopers in action. I see people doing like insane things with them. Like on the Discord, one guy was like, "Yeah, I've tested them 4 times, and everybody's conceded by round three." I'm like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
And then
bro.
you got like Kyle from the Notorious Scoundrels, and he's like, "They're really fast and really good at killing things, and really fast." And I'm like, "Man, like I dig the droid trooper heavy aspect of it, but I feel like if you just get hot diced, the one thing that separates them from a saber or from an AAT is they're gonna degrade like that. That's a big thing for me.
What
I
I
gotta see it. I gotta see them in person.
I agree with you. The problem is that they go twice and they're behind armor, red saves, um, and you can't ignore them. They're like force users, but range. You just can't ignore them. Even if you go into melee, that's a red and a white per model, and they go
It's like a mall
twice.
saber.
Yeah. If you go decked out 12 wounds, like that's what, how many in the model? Three, that's six. So that's six
Six.
reds and six whites.
Oh, so
Um,
it's better than mall.
yeah, it's better than a mall saber. And it's just like you usually want to go with them last if you can manage it. Because if you go
So you
with
get double
them,
tap.
you get double tap and then you're already on top of somebody. And it's so quick. And you're just like, what do I do now? Um, but yeah, you definitely need impact. You definitely need Pierce. If you don't have
Anakin
neither of those
RTS
things,
saber throw all day.
what's funny is Gar seems like the only one that can deal with these battle forces. Like can deal with Blizzard Force, can deal with even if they're having it. That's it.
Guard's good at something finally.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and move on to we got a transmission. A while ago, Asajj Ventress came out, man.
Yeah, I'm
Uh
pumped.
dude, she looks solid. So I'll go ahead and read off her unit card. She's Asajj Ventress, Separatist Assassin. She's an operative. She has 5 health, courage 2, and red saves. She's a speed 2 movement, 8 black dice, impact 2, pierce 2. She's 150 points, have 2 force user slots, 2 training slots, jump 2, which I don't think is a big deal.
No,
Uh,
that's a huge deal.
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Deflect, independent dodge 1, which I think is big.
I think that's less.
Indomitable, which is nice. I definitely like
That's
it.
huge. I think that's huge.
Immune to Pierce and uh, Jarkar Mastery.
Jakar mastery.
Jakar
So it's a
Mastery
marks. It's a marksman,
with
but they made a
Dodgeman.
joke. It's Dodgeman.
Dodge.
That was on
Dodgeman.
Discord. It's Dodgeman.
All right.
Dodgeman.
Yeah, while performing a melee attack, you may spend any number of dodge tokens for each dodge token spent. Improve one attack die result. I mean, that's important to note. It has to be a melee attack. You can't saber throw and use your dodge tokens to change it. And she has relentless, which I think is huge as well. Why don't you like jump two? Or why do you like jump two?
Yeah. So we're jumping the gun here,
Mm.
but when she becomes a bounty hunter, you just slap Commander Karen, grab the bounty, and jump off into the night.
But there's hardly ever any height to terrain. That's my biggest thing right now. It's like I understand they changed the rules.
There will be though. Like they're talking about incorporating more.
It,
So there was a episode the episode of Legion Outriders I sent the chat. If you listen to it, LJ actually read all the surveys, and one of the big things was they needed more. height 2 and higher terrain.
Mm.
And he's taking all this data and he's gonna just dude, next year's LVO gonna be a different animal. I'm telling you, jump 2. I honestly think even expert climber giving you scale 2 is gonna matter now.
I don't know, man. I feel like even if it was like tournament wise, high competitive tournament, they did introduce more height two. I don't think you're going to see a lot of height two locally because it's hard to get yourself on height two terrain. Like, what are you going to use? And then even then,
Infiltrate.
even then, you don't have a lot of it, right? So I don't know. I don't think.
That's why you change it. We can't live in the old rules. Like I got plenty of height 1 terrain, and now I'm like, man, now I need to buy some height 2 stuff to throw in there.
See, that's just I don't
You
know. I
gotta
don't know.
the game is changing, man. I'm telling you're gonna use Ventress in an event. You're gonna grab a bounty and you're gonna need a GTFO and you're gonna look and there's like a big ass height 2 structure and you're like, ah, it's a good thing I have jump. And then you're gonna win. And then you're gonna be like, Jose was right. It's
Well,
that one time you need it. That one time you need it. Watch.
but I bet you anything the height two terrain are going to be so big that you land on top of it as opposed to jumping over it, which is what you really want to do because you want to get that block of line of sight. But
You can still get it if you get fur enough back.
you can accomplish that with just a height one though. Like it's maybe
That
maybe
speed
maybe if
one,
I'm hunting
speed
down some Mandos, like they're
She's
jumping on this
she's
building.
speed 3. She's speed 3. So speed 3 jumping 2 is a lot different and a lot more range than a little speed 1 on a building. Like you can get cover, that's about it. With speed 3 jumping up to a height 2 building, if you push that distance as far as you can push it, you're probably out of line of sight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I like it. Like honestly, the more the merrier, as far as I'm concerned. It could be jump
It's
three.
criminal. It's
It'd be
criminal that
cool.
she has more attack dice than OP Luke.
No, because she's got two lightsabers. OP's only got one.
Darth Maul has a dual bladed lightsaber. He has 4 red and 4 white. She
But
has
I
hers is broken in half, and she has 8.
but I understand that because like double bladed lightsaber is more of like one's the doing the attacking, the other one's like defending. So it, like makes sense. Like the second swing isn't as strong as the first initial, right?
I feel like they made her a trade machine. That's where I what I'm thinking is she's a trade machine. You're gonna take you're gonna take Makashi Mastery if there's another Jedi
Well,
out
we
there.
haven't got to that point yet. We haven't got to that.
Okay, well, just I won't go into detail, but she's a trade monster. She's so cheap. You can live with winning a game on MOV by just smoking an Anakin or smoking an Obi, smoking an OP Luke, and then dying because your trade difference is like 40 points, and then you just back up and let it happen. Like she's a
What?
trade monster. She's gonna wreck Jedi days, and you're gonna win a lot of
Yeah.
MOV games based on that alone. That trade.
I built
She's
a
too
list.
cheap.
I built a list with I think she's the cheapest force user right now, right?
Yeah, she's too
Yeah.
cheap.
I love it. I'm all for it.
That points value is why force push needs to be 25 points.
No, 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 no. Let's not go
And
there. I
deflect was fixed. Now we need to fix force push.
I got a Grievous, Maul, and Asajj list, and it's not competitive, but it's more fun. And I'm just like, yeah,
What
any
seven
Jedi's.
X?
It's about. I think I can get it to 9, but like everything else is like bitter.
What
Um,
naked B ones?
yeah, Nikki B ones, and then you have the T series. And then it keeps the daisy chain going. And then it's just like any force user or any Jedi that wants to come against that, everything potentially has Jedi Hunter for a turn.
Nice.
What do you think of I love that she has Indomitable Dodge one. I love that. Like she didn't get overlooked.
Indomitable is a must
Oh,
with her being
did I say
courage
Indomitable?
too.
I meant independent. Independent
Oh
Dodge
yeah,
one.
you said Indomitable and then you said and Independent. You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
both.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
So we'll cover both. Indomitable is a must on her. I feel like if you're gonna have a hero character with courage too, they should all come stock with Indomitable.
Even Grievous?
Because yeah, so
Yeah,
Grievous
Grievous
should
needs
have
it.
Indomitable.
He does
They
need
killed
it.
his scale keyword, so give the poor guy Indomitable.
I don't know.
Um, but no, and I'm saying it's not a big deal. Yeah, you'll roll off a lot more suppression than normal on your rally, but hey, as me and Roman know, red dice fail. If me and Roman are throwing those red dice for suppression, we're suppressed or we're
Mm-hmm.
panicking. We're
Mm-hmm.
not rolling those shields. So I think but Dominable gives her Dominable is like impervious. It gives her a chance.
Yeah,
Because a one action Ventress is going to be a very sad Ventress. And then when it comes to independent dodge, I mean, it's dope because it means you can keep her in the bag and know you're going to have a dodge in the bank. And with her, a dodge is just as good as an aim on
yeah.
marksman because of that
Mhm.
mastery. So essentially, you could bank on that dodge being a free hit or a free crit every turn.
I agree.
And she's an assassin. Like you don't want to, you're either gonna want to go with her or you're gonna want to leave her last. And what's perfect of her being in CIS is that order control, whether she's out on the table with as the only token in your bag, getting independent, or if you pull her out with her own card and give her an order, she's gonna go when she wants to go. And with her, that's very strong and very potent
I'm
for
with
her
you there.
kit.
I agree with you
I dig her
100%.
kit. I dig her kit. I'm not
Mm.
as a newly baptized force power user. I can respect it now.
You know what's so funny is I'm so happy because for the longest time you were fighting me on everything Force user, and now you finally joined the dark side. It's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful.
It's because we have the best
Mm.
ones in Gar now. Except for when Ventress hits the table, then I want to see a Ventress Anakin matchup. I
Yeah,
think that would be interesting because
I've
he'll
been,
trade wounds.
yeah,
He's the only one that can trade wounds with her.
yeah. I've been playing a lot. No, I haven't played a lot with her. I've been building lists around her. I definitely do agree that she's probably really good with Dooku, and we'll get to that in a bit.
You don't
Um,
think 150 is too cheap? Honestly,
no, because of the same reason that she is very fragile. And I know you don't think
no.
so. I know you don't think so. But I mean, one wrong move, she's dead. And then you have to give her upgrades, right? So certain upgrades to counteract how fragile she is. And I feel like she's only got two decent builds. And like always slap in a fray on her. I think you could do it tenacity or offensive stance.
You no
Um,
no no. With her, you have to take defensive stance. It's defensive stance on her is more important than defensive stance on Anakin. I I run defensive stance on Anakin and I stack dodges on him as a defensive battery. With
mhm.
her, getting into her command cards later, that's six dodges
Yeah,
on an eight dice pool.
yeah,
You're almost guaranteeing a full boat.
yeah. And like, I do agree. I lean more towards defensive stance because you usually want to take an action to defensive stance when you're buried.
Yeah.
But like tenacity is just always there. You don't have to spend an action. So that's why I feel like tenacity might be the better choice. But defensive stance really does play into her kit better. Um, and like, I mean, if you don't spend those dodge for her mastery, you just have dodges now to protect you. I think you always
Yeah.
stop. She's a force user, so you always stop push. And I think she can use either burst of speed. I think burst of speed because she has relentless.
I thought she was speed three already.
No, she's speed two. She's speed two.
Speed two.
Yeah, I wish she was speed three. Yeah, so burst of speed, and then the other force power. What was I thinking for the other one?
At 10 points versus speed? Really?
It's one of those situations where it's just like a speed three relentless user is really good. But that 10 points and immobilize is gonna hurt.
I took I took burst of speed off of Anakin. That 10 points was a little
Yeah,
I
yeah.
support it. I'm not I think you take it if you're gonna make that death dive, but if points have to be shaved, burst is gone.
Yeah, I think choke was the other one. I think you still take choke on her because choke
Because
is huge.
what happens if you burst the speed, you slam into whatever you're slamming on, and you get your full boat, and let's say it's six stormtroopers, your full boat, and you get a Roman and Jose special where we blank out.
Mm.
Now you're stuck in the open, one speed. That's I don't think you want to do that. Because even if you pull her first, like you're still speed one.
Well, it's nice that like pretty much if anyone that's in range three, you can get there, right? I mean, you move, and then you force push. You can't relentless, but If it's either
You have to bank that you don't kill and you don't kill a unit though to stay safe.
true, and if you're making that kind of play, you're usually going last with her, right? So that turn, the next turn, you pop something to keep her safe, or you to go with her, right?
But
Hopefully.
you're limping at speed one after that. That's my thing.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think I think versus speed would be fun, and I think it's still a good thing on
Fun
her.
but too risky.
Yeah, force choke is the better option for sure, for sure.
Dude,
Um,
hell yeah. You get that free kill on the heavy. You
mhm.
get her full dice. You get marksman on her dodges. Like that's what you if you're going for maximum death damage input, or at least keeping you somewhat safe. I mean, let's say you do move up and you do smash the entire unit. If you have an opponent's heavy in range of you, you just choke that heavy and it makes your survivability go up because that heavy dice pool's gone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think choke is the way to go.
I think you're right. All right, let's read her command cards. Should we start with the number first one or three?
Start with the divulge one that has to be played.
Okay. So
Because
she
that one you can't choose. It's
um,
played.
so there she has a three pip called Yes, My Master. It issues no units. You must divulge this card, so you don't get to choose. You have to play it. It stays in play, and you get two options. So you have divulge deployment unit step permanent. Asajj gains bounty and reinforcement, and then the other option is deploy unit step is permanent. Asajj gains demoralize one, Makashi mastery, and outmaneuver, which is huge. What do you think?
Popular opinion is you take Makashi Mastery if you're playing against a force user, and you take Bounty if you're playing a gun line. My opinion is you play Makashi Master and outmaneuver all the time, 24/7, because she's a dodge battery. That
Yeah,
keeps her that alone, outmaneuver, dude, I love outmaneuver.
yeah,
On her more than necessary, I think, with her being fragile. Um, but Red saves, outmaneuver, she gets her dodges, like independent dodge, that's a guaranteed block crit. Like how many times have you got shot at and it's like, cool, here's three and one's a crit. Okay, I'm rolling for one. Her dodge is like, nah, I'm good.
you know what's funny is I've only played her twice so far, and I did take Makashi mastery. I always took bounty and reinforcement. So my
Did it pay
theory,
off?
it paid off because I got the bounty the first time, and then the second time my opponent conceded before I could get the bounty. And I was gonna get the bounty. But here's my thought process about it: is if my opponent has any impervious or immune to pierce, you take Makashi Master without maneuver. If my opponent doesn't have neither of those things, then I just take bounty and reinforcements. So that way my opponent has to worry about me getting the bounty. And it's not like I have to Makashi Master or anything, right? Because there's no impervious or immune to pierce.
I think you get in a sticky situation if you catch a bad dice pool.
Oh, I agree. But honestly, it's one of those things where I try to keep my force users behind line of sight blocking as long as I can before making a play. And outmaneuver does come in handy. I agree. But it's like at that point, I'm facing a gun line list. I just have to bury. Once I bury, I think I should be fine. But you never know with dice rolls,
Until you catch the elbows of fury with no search to block.
right? Just
Somebody
in
said
the face.
somebody said in the chat in the Discord chat there somebody was like fired up about the change to deflect and somebody's like, man, since the game started, stormtroopers have been dropping force users with elbows since the beginning of time. I'm like, yep.
Oh, it's such a dumb concept, but I get it. I get it. All right, we'll move on to two pip called I Am Fear. It or issues an order to Asajj, and it says when Asajj Ventress begins her activation, she recovers. At the end of Asajj activation, she may perform an attack using the following weapon. It's melee and range one. It's a black die, surges to crit, it's suppressive and spray. What do you think?
I like it. It's a attack that happens after her activation. The recovery is huge because her lack of master of the force.
Mm-hmm.
That's ginormous for her, and I think it benefits. I think you play this after you play her next card.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like this is a must take. I know some people who were talking about dropping this card, but I feel like that recovery,
No.
yeah, for the force powers and because of her one pip. But even then, like you can move, you can attack something, you can force push it out, then you can spray something else. Like I just think it's nice to just kill things.
It's nice to see a spray mechanic on a force user.
Yeah,
We haven't
yeah.
seen that before.
Which is interesting because this is the first spray keyword on a non-blast weapon. So if she does attack somebody with the spray keyword and they have heavy cover, they're gonna get heavy cover
You
still.
just move up and touch it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's just
Yeah.
interesting. Like what is she doing with
It's
force?
balancing it's just balancing it.
But like
Like
is she shooting like magic dark force
it
powers
looks
at
like
them?
it looks like it's a failed choke if you look at the
Yeah,
artwork.
yeah. It's like I'm
Like
choking
she's
you.
choking and she's like, ew.
Yeah. And then like even then she's choking them, but they have heavy cover. So it's like I can't get past this heavy cover.
This invisible wall. This
Yeah.
his the millimeter of his base was blocked by cover, so I guess heavy cover.
All right, we'll move on to our one pip, which is what we both agree that we think you take this one for. Is it's a one pip. The Jedi shall fall.
Oh,
You
good.
it's so good. Yeah, you only give it to Asajj Ventress order. Asajj Ventress gains Jedi Hunter. While Asajj Ventress performs an attack, during the roll attack dice step, before rolling dice, she may gain up to 4 suppression tokens. She gains 1 dodge token for each suppression token gained this way. So what do you think?
I think this card is so good, especially if you got the two pip in your back pocket. It's so good. Like so, but I was mulling over it because I like tier classing force user cards in terms of how strong it is or how quirky it can be. Um, with 8 attack dice, let's say you get your 4 dodges. Let's say before you attack, you have a defensive stance, you get another 2 dodges. That's
Mhm.
6 dodges. You're making a full boat. There's nothing. No, let me phrase that. You're gonna get a full boat, and then you're gonna have some dodges left over to turn it into crits.
Yeah.
And especially if you happen to not need all those dodges, you're gonna have dodges left over. The problem I have is there's one card out there that I think cancels this card, and I think it's a survivability thing. If you're playing Vader and you play this one pit and Vader drops Master of Evil, you don't take those dodges
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Well,
you're gonna have 4 suppression, and then Vader's gonna go after use Master of Evil, and now you're gonna finish with 7 suppression.
which is fine in my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a deal if you still
You
have her two pip because you're getting
yeah,
7 suppression.
yeah,
Yeah, at the end, and then you immediately play her two pip. If she's
but
still alive,
this is gonna be played in a pivotal moment. What if it's a scoring round? Now you're ineligible to score.
true. But I don't think you play the one pip in storm. I feel like you play this to kill something. Like you're already in base contact with it. Like if I'm already in base contact with Vader, I play this, and then I take the 4 suppression. I get the 4 dodges. I have Akashi mastery, and I have Jedi Hunter now. So
You're lucky Vader can't go with Han. Oh, that 2 pip change of plans.
I hate that card so much. Change of plan. So yeah, I think her command cards are pretty sick. You know what I want to do? I want to make a list of Cad Bane, Maul, and Asajj, but you can't because you're gonna have 2 operatives. And then if ever the time I can, I want to run them 3 and then divulge all their cards. So,
Ugh.
oh man. Okay.
I like Ventress a lot. Ventress is
Ventress.
I'm very picky when it comes to units. You already know I hate overpowered units. I feel like she's a little cheap, but I feel like in terms of everything she does, it's such a cool kit. It's a kit that has a lot of high side and has a lot of downside, and I think that's where characters should be in terms of the balance, especially with when you're going points this low. I like her. She's that gives me hope for Ahsoka, both versions for Gar and for Rebels, and it gives me hope for like a lot of the stuff coming down the future. I mean, we still got to see freaking Kanan. We still got to see what's his name? Kanan Jarrus, Ezra.
Ezra.
Like imagine Ezra's kit. Ezra, if Ezra comes, see how fun that he's gonna be like
Bro,
blaster oriented.
I
Like
want his saber with the blaster. Like that'd be
that's what I'm
so
saying.
sick. That'd be
Like
sick.
her kit looks so good
I want him
that
to
it's a blueprint.
Yeah, I want him to have a versatile on the saber and like him have like he can attack somebody at melee and shoot at
And then
somebody.
shoot. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
Yep.
sick.
And then it was cool because Asajj filled the whole if it's an art, we're getting it in the game because the promo Anakin Force push is
Yep.
him throwing Asajj like 10
Mhm.
feet in the air.
Well,
And
that
after that we get her.
if that's confirmed how they do things. Qui-Gon's confirmed. You got him in Duels of Fates.
Duel of the Fates.
Uh,
I want Ben Kenobi. We need Ben.
we do need Ben. Yeah. Overall, I think she's pretty like gonna be fun to play. She reminds me of Maul as far as like a high skill cap character. Like she can be very fragile, but if you play her right, she can survive longer and do a lot of shenanigans. She does
Good
have
kid.
one more pip card that's technically not her pip card.
And I called it.
You did call it, and I'm glad you called it because I thought it was a flaw card. I was gonna be so pissed it was a flaw card.
Flaws are done, man. They're a thing
I'm glad.
of the past.
So this one is a three pip, another three pip, but it's for Dooku. It's the
Hmm.
Sith will rule. The Sith will rule. I don't. Did he ever say that in the movie?
I have no clue.
Because I kind of don't like that line because Palpatine kind of says that. Like the Sith's
Well,
gonna be.
they pull from comics and other shows and stuff. So if it's on there, it's somewhere.
So
It's everything's a catchphrase. Like take that, clankers.
yeah.
I'm a Jedi. Like all if you notice, all of our cards are all some kind of
So,
catchphrase, some kind of theme song, Duel of the Fates.
mhm.
So it's somewhere. If it's on the card, it's somewhere.
This one only issues to Count Dooku, which it says when building a command hand, treat this card as though it has a two pip. Count Dooku gains an aim token and a dodge token. After Count
So
Dooku
good.
After Count Dooku activates, if Asajj Ventress does not have a face down order token, she activates. After she activates, if she has a face up order token, flip it face down. And if she does not have an order token, assign her a face down operative token. What do you think?
This says, if we're close enough, it doesn't matter what Jedi you have. He's
Mhm.
dead.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
dead. You could have Vader with 8 wound. He's dead. Double Makashi,
Mhm.
double four. Like he's it's there's this is what you play when you are close enough to delete a Force user, and I think this is a game ender. In that context, like if you can get a hold of a sneaky Force user, like
Yeah.
especially with a reckless player like me, I'm gonna run in and try to be a hero, and I'm gonna get Makashi mastered into oblivion.
Which
So
is
that's a deletion card. That's a
what I
good card.
what I also like about it is that it's I mean, aside from a three pip, so if you're playing a three pip, they're probably gonna go first, right? But it's got cunning. And then
If they're full health, do you really care?
no. And then on top of that,
Exactly.
they don't have to be near each other. So it's like Dooku could be on one side of the board handling something and Ventress on the other side. And she's like, boom, finish your shit off. You know?
It's like a Chewy card, but for CIS,
Yeah, yeah. Which I love that.
and it actually works better.
Not only do we got a force user that works with another Sith, user, she also has bounty. So we got our first force user bounty card, and I love that. I'm just like, I'm on board for that. I'm so mad that we're doing the bounty hunter tournament and it's right before she drops. So I'm just like, damn it, I can't run her. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on. We'll move on to so as you guys know, this tonight, you guys won't see this till tomorrow. So tomorrow officially starts the bounty hunter tournament. So I figured we go over our list, what we're running, and what we hope to see, and we'll hope to get. You want to go first?
Yeah, I feel like I have some spiciness that I can go with. When I build lists, I kind of like to think outside the box. I'm not a bounty hunter user at all. I think the most bounty hunter experience I have is like one skirmish tournament where I played Callus Bosk and one game with Din Djarin. So bounty's weird. I'm a gunline guy, so you figured I would like bounty hunters, but nah, they're not my flavor, they're not my style, and they're not real character. Like, well, now that Din's out, I can get behind that. I like the Mando. But like I'm not a boss guy, I'm not a Boba guy. So for me to play stuff like Anakin. I love Anakin. Anakin's one of my favorite characters ever, so I'm gonna play him every chance I get. So when it comes to bounty hunters, I don't have nothing except for now Mando. But I decided, you know what? This tournament is bonkers. You get points for winning, you get points for losing, you get points for playing at the shop, you get paint points. If you concede, you lose points.
I
Uh,
like that.
it's crazy. And I figured I'm gonna shove my army in your face, and if it works, it works. So I got 9X. I'm calling it Top Gun Mandos,
The
and it's Commander Karen with Underworld connections. It's Din Djarin's fully loaded. Sorry, Nick, no Grogu. It's CZ Initiative, Tenacity, Comms Jammer, the Jetpack, the Flamethrower, and the Beskar Spear. He's at 159. And then I got Boba in the back pocket with CZ Initiative, Tenacity, Calm Jammer, Boba's Flamethrower, Prepared Supplies. And then to carry these swell fellows into battle, I have two lap patrol ships fully equipped with Imperial TIE Pilot because I gotta go fast, bunker buster shells because I'm gonna mess with your cohesion so my bounty hunters can touch your units a lot easier. And then onboard comms because I need to make sure that I have orders on those guys so
mm,
nothing crazy happens. My command hand is whipcord. This is the way. Boba's flamethrower. I like those odds. Rule with respect and assault. So the whole gimmick of this thing is uh just shoving the lats as far into your face as I can. With Boba and Din both having comms jammers, since they'll be in the lat, they get the lat base to shoot the comms jammers off of. So turn one, I'm gonna go with the salt just to get the boys up there. Then turn two would probably be depending on in a perfect world, this is how it's gonna go. I would get rule with respect. This way the lats would get an extra black die, and then when they do their attack, they can scatter the opponents, and then I can poop Din out, and then he gets a black die with his flamethrower, which then I can then throw Boba out and do Boba things. And then pretty much once they're there, you have to deal with two bounty hunters, fully loaded bounty hunters. Not to mention, Boba will have an arsenal attack with his flame projector and his command card.
mm.
So that's like depending on how many minis are in a unit. It could be 8 dice, it could be 12 dice. It's up to you, but I don't think anything's surviving a 12 dice flamethrower. And I figured the whole aspect is you either got to deal with the bounty hunters that are in your face, or you and ignore the lats. Which at that point, the lats are just going to be reloading and keep shooting, reloading, keep shooting, and they're just going to be messing with your cohesion. The game plan is pretty much by turn three, turn four, to have so much damage done that I can then just use the Mandos to go chase down the softest bounty target. I
Mm.
think the only downfall to this list is if I run into a Force user. But I do feel like I have a fighting chance, at least at that, with Boba having prepared supplies and Mando having the Beskar spear.
Makes sense. Which I love the chaos that your list brings. It's just pretty much I'm just gonna run them down your throat and we'll see what happens. And Comms Jammer makes me so upset because it's just like that just screws up your whole order plan or my order plan
Yeah,
in general.
it it's a W list. I'm gonna go fast, and a lot of things are gonna die. I just hope that none of the Mandos are the ones that die. If both Mandos die, I'm just gonna concede and take my -1. I deserve it.
-3.
Is it minus
It's
three?
-3. So how
Oh, maybe not.
the point system is no wait, maybe you're right.
It's -1.
I
A
don't
win
know.
is one. A lot. No, a win is three.
Yeah.
Painting is one.
Losing
I
0.
losing
No
is zero.
there's no paint point this time.
Oh, there's no paint point this time. I think he just wants it painted. I know concessions is -1. There's no way it'd be -3. Then nobody's gonna play.
Let me see. Let me see. I'll
It's
find out right
-1.
now. You're probably right. You're probably right.
Because what am I gonna do? Float around with my hot air balloons trying to fight back? And so here's the thing too. I know Becky's gonna die every game. just because she's white safe, she's easy bounty target. If Nick had that photo of his IG unit inside the land speeder,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a free bounty. I'm going into every game knowing I'm giving up a free bounty point.
So how he has the rules is win is 3, a loss is 0 points, a concession is -2 points. And then if you manage to get a bounty, it's 2 points per bounty that you scored. And then if you play at the
Got it.
store, you get a point.
I'm gonna try to play all my games at the store.
Right? I'm gonna try, but we'll see.
That's my bet. That's how I beat you this tournament
Right? I
by
was
playing
telling
it.
I was telling Roman, I was just like, watch Jose beats me, and then I'm just gonna have to let him know, like, all right, man, Garney loves. All right. All right, so what I'm running for this tournament is I'm running Obi-Wan with Force Barrier, Force Push, Vigilance, and Offensive Stance. Clone Commander naked with Phase 1 with 5s. Three Phase 1s with the C6, and 2 of those have the Clone Medic, and then
So
3
good.
Barks. Yeah, 3
The
Barks on
medics
there.
are so good. Barks
But
are awesome. Not
the
my style,
plan
but they're awesome.
my plan is like to just barrier everything, defend, and I'm hoping I don't roll any blames, but you never know with ref saves. And then I named it properly Reiko Harden, Marksman of Concordia Dawn, which is the
Concord
bounty
Don.
hunter. Yeah, the bounty hunter that he disguised himself as.
He should come to this game as that.
Yeah.
A bounty
Well,
hunter Obi-Wan. Just
yeah.
limit his 4 slots and no make him so guardian focused. I think seeing bounty hunter Obi-Wan would be dope.
So what you're saying is I should proxy him.
No, never.
Well, also in this tournament is high profile targeting. You could take it for 10 points, and if somebody bounties you, you just have to survive and you get the bounty point. Not for victory, but for scoring purposes, which I thought it was a cool concept, a good idea. Which it makes the other opponent like you have to come get me now, and that's why I was just like, oh, I'm gonna run Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan was technically disguised as a bounty hunter, but not a bounty hunter.
I
So
have the list to go chase them.
you literally do. When I heard your list, I was just like, I gotta change my list now. I gotta change my list. Jose's gonna just and that when you told me that they both have con jammers, I was just like, I can't direct, I can't give my clone boys fire support, nothing.
You did that to me before. I know how much that hurts.
Yeah, it does. It hurts a lot. All right, man. So I know you got to get going soon. So let's go and move on to rules questions. I got
Oh
three.
no.
I think I got four of them. Okay. So if I'm attacking a ground vehicle and the attack kills the ground vehicle, the ground vehicle was blocking line of sight to somebody that had a standby, can you then proc the standby?
No, because standby requires line of sight. Before the attack went off, the line of sight was blocked. So no.
So LJ rules, yes. As a stand
What?
as a standby is spent after the completion of a trigger action / move, and the vehicle would be removed as part of the attack action that destroyed it.
No, it makes sense because normal standby rules, if I say I'm taking an aim, you get your standby. If I say I'm going to attack, after I attack, then you get your standby.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the blocking line of sight should factor. This timing stuff is so alien now
It's
because if you
hard.
didn't have line of sight before and the attack goes off, even though the line of sight is drawn after the conclusion of the attack, like you couldn't see it in the so when I'm like, when people play standby, it's like, all right, I'm gonna attack. Do you want to spend your standby? Nah. Okay, my attack is done. Do you want to spend your standby? Like, no. But your line of sight is there the whole time. If you have no functional line of sight, it shouldn't matter if the tank blows up. Now you could see them. It's like bang, flames, and freaking force user just comes out and just rushes you. Like,
I think
it's
it
so
fits. I think
stupid.
it fits thematically. Like all of a sudden you see a saber blow up, and then the clone boys are right there, and they see you. Light them up, boys. Just get them going.
Nah, I don't
It,
agree with that
I
one.
do
That
agree with
that's
you.
new.
Like learning all these new rules has kind of like been difficult because timing has changed a lot on when certain things happen and cohesion things. So I don't know if anybody knows, but well, I'm sure a lot of people know. But one of the new rules is that if your guys are out of cohesion, let's say a model was displaced or it's just some circumstance which made them to not be cohesion, the very first action that unit has to do when the next
Move
action
and get
occurs
into cohesion,
is move
right?
and get in
Yeah.
cohesion. Yeah. So these questions are going to be based off of that.
Hmm.
Okay, so if a unit is not in cohesion for whatever reason, its next action must be a move action. I just read that. So a unit of Dark Trooper uses their first action to move to spot where they can't place all minis in legal cohesion. So they put them as close as possible. They are now out of cohesion, but they can't use their next action to move because of plotting. Therefore, could they use their second action to do something else, such as an attack?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say plotting wouldn't have an effect only because the rule book, the general rules come before all the keywords and stuff, like in terms of how you do interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say that nah, I'm gonna say under special circumstances you would have to move. I don't think plotting would.
So this
Yeah, I'm gonna say you. What did he say? You'd be able to attack? Because that's a cheese thing. That's
the unit's
very cheesy.
the unit's next action must be a move action to return miniatures to cohesion. The Imperial Dark Troopers are unable to
Oh
perform an
my God.
alternative action with their second action, the activation, and would therefore not perform one. So if you can't cohesion on your first move, you can't do anything else in your second action.
I that's what. Don't get them stuck on a building by accident.
I don't
Just
know.
Vader's might, and put them on a building and mess the cohesion up.
Yeah, well,
Oh, it looks like you're stuck there.
I'm trying to figure out when the circumstances you're not going to be able to cohesion when you move because you get to do it, but I'm pretty sure there's those rare cases where it can't happen. Yeah, I don't know how, but I'm sure there's some going to be something. All right, this one you're gonna love this one.
Headaches.
You're gonna love this one. If a unit is not in fully legal cohesion, its next action must be a move. How does this interact with a unit that has AI attack?
I'm gonna say you're gonna have to move regardless,
the
right? You get to move for free.
unit
You get to ignore AI.
do you, yeah, yep.
So stupid.
The unit's next action must be a move. It is not eligible to make an attack with AI attack. So if you
So now we're just ignoring hard printed rules that have been there since the freaking armies came out. I get it. This new rule book is all about pace of play and everything, but some of these interactions just got to be no. Like, am I sweating an attack from an AIB1? No, take your damn attack. Like,
it's
ah,
it's just so funny because I know you've been complaining about AI attack or AI in general. And if you can manage to gimmick it to where you're out of cohesion, so that next time you go, it's a move action and you don't have to
I think
attack.
that's a judge call, bro. Like, I would call a judge like, I think he did this on purpose. Can you check to make sure? And can you recheck how we got to this point? Because it's
Well, to
first
be
off, when I speak about AI stuff, I'm not speaking from ignorance. I started off as a CIS player. I love that when CIS came out, I love AI actions that are this only. I do not like AIs that are this or that. I feel like this or that should not be an option. I feel like you should have a drawback being one action. Like for instance, the BXs have move or dodge. Okay, cool. No, the BXs should just be take a dodge. I'm not gonna force them to move because that's like a compulsory light.
mm,
I would have BXs AI dodge. If you do not have an order, you just take a dodge. That's it. I think when you give AI is supposed to be a drawback, and I get it, it is a drawback. But when there's an or involved, now you have options. It's not so much a drawback. For instance, like the Decas, it's attack or move. That's something you're going to contemplate regardless, you know? And then with the Decas, you're going to have emergency transponders, or um you're going to have something on. Well, yeah, actually, emergency transponders. Oh, cool. Now I get to move and get my aim. Like it shouldn't be oars, and I've said that from day one. And the fact that this ruling is like, nope, they don't got to attack. Like, so I have to stand by for nothing.
I feel like the main thing with the CIS's AI is that they can't aim and attack. Like the whole point is like they shouldn't be good at firing because they're just firing automatic. So if anytime AI does trigger, it's never going to be an aim and attack, which is what most units want to eventually do: get in position and AI aim, not aim and attack. So I think this still counts as that, but I mean, you could technically do it for objective play.
Hot take, they need to change all rocket launchers to cycle.
Nah, now that they fixed cumbersome rules, they're fine. You shoot and then you
Cumbersome
loot.
shouldn't even be a thing.
Nah, man, your clone boys are weak, bro. They gotta
Bro, you
might be
got
one
one dude.
might be one
The
decent.
Z6 looks bigger than the damn rocket launcher. And I don't have cumbersome on
It
the
really is.
Z6.
It really is,
It's
isn't it?
bigger than the rocket
Okay, you
launcher.
know
That
what,
thing's
AMG?
thick.
I agree with Jose. Take cumbersome off of the rocket and put it on the Z6.
Oh god. Fire support for days. That's all it does.
Yeah,
Fire support
right. Stay
platform.
there. All right, last one.
Damn, those rules are interesting, dude. That's crazy. See,
Here's
this is
an,
why you look at the forums.
here's another
And this is
interesting one.
also a bad thing about the forums. If somebody doesn't know these forums exist
Mm-hmm.
and goes to a tournament and then they get their world wrecked by a forum rule, that feels
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. It's one of those things
They
where
should do a digital document. The rule book, the CRB. I
mm,
get it. It's on AMG's website, whatever, blah, blah, blah. AMG should go the Age of Sigmar route and just make your rulebook an actual app on your
yeah,
phone
I like
that
that.
they just upload. Forget the forums. So, for instance, these movement rules that you're talking about right now, go into movement and just input them there
Yeah,
in blue text
yeah.
and build the rulebook as you go as an app. It's easy to do that. I'm not
I
going to say easy. I'm not a tech guy, but it's better than somebody having to have like we're not as bad as Warhammer, but we got this book over here, we got this forum over here, we got the Discord right here, and we're just looking for rules. Like it should just be
yeah.
one hub, and an app would be perfect.
I agree. I think an app would be amazing, like to access everything, but who knows how hard that's going to be. All right, so this one, a unit of dark troopers are riding in a Gab transport. They have already performed one action and have a face down token.
Dark Troopers in a gap. Okay.
Right? Right?
Oh
The,
no.
the opponent defeats the Gab. Do the dark troopers receive a second face down order token from their transport being defeated?
So you're saying that if they gets blown up, they burn their second action, right?
I'm saying, do they? Yeah, I'm asking, like,
But
because
that's the concept of it.
yeah,
They've gone,
yeah,
they've
they gone.
gone, they're in the tank, and then the tank blows up, and as per exploding poop rules, they get pooped out with the token down.
Yeah, so
I would say yes.
okay.
Oh, don't tell me to know.
They would not receive a second face down token
God.
as they have a face down order token.
And do they get they don't benefit from cover though, so they don't
No,
get the cover from the
no, they
tank.
don't. They don't get the cover.
So you're
You
just
just
doing it just to chariot into dude, Dave Grant's got to play that.
yeah, yeah, dude. That'd be gnarly because it's they would technically move faster if they were on the gap for one instant, to get that blast off or the frag launcher.
Oh, Roman said we just hit 10. We went up two players in the tournament.
Hey, that's what's up.
Some guy named Eddie L. Oh, and Mike
Mike and Edward,
from
right? Eddie L's Edward, isn't he?
is that Eddie? Dude,
Yeah.
he's all gangster with his name. Yeah, we got 10 players, bro.
Is John on there?
Yeah, yeah. So we got
Okay.
so for the viewers at home, we have Toby, myself, Nick, the great and powerful JR, Chris, Daniel, Jonathan, Omar, the handsome madman Edward, and we have Mad Mike. He's Emwa on our
Well,
chat.
dude,
Yeah,
that's awesome. I'm so glad we
that's
have 10.
it's cool.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, it's
pretty
cool.
cool. We were seeing that
Good
six
job,
all
Roman.
day
Good job.
today. Yeah. So
I was sweating it was gonna be five. I'm like, no, no buy round.
I knew it wasn't because I knew John was going to join, but he was
Mhm.
just taking time figuring things out.
I'm
Uh,
so pumped, dude.
yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's
good.
gonna be fun.
But yeah, man. Yeah, it's
All
just
those rules are crap though.
they're crazy, aren't they? They're so like situational BS, but
Like who thinks it
it
like
is.
I feel like they think of this stuff and then like LJ's like, oh what? Okay, pace of play. It's easier if we just break their rules.
He's like, I'm the law now. I make the rules.
I've spoken. I'll allow it. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, that's but Legion is crazy. LVO, I know we're past LVO, but 20 LVO 23, like that was wild. Like so
22
many
or,
different 23, the one we went
oh
to.
yeah. No, we would, oh yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right.
23.
Yeah.
It was like Wild West. It was wild. Like so to cap off, like just a recap. I played against Vader Triple Deuce. I played against Iden Boba. I played against Double Bounty IG-88 Boba. I played against Rogue One with 4 Wookiees. I played against Vader Double Magna Guard in Payload. And then I played what was the other one? And then I got rocked by a standard CIS with stats.
Yeah.
That I've never seen all that before. Like that was new rules, new and like 23 was such a refreshing. Like I went into 23 thinking I'm gonna be so burnt out after this. Like I'm not gonna want to look at Legion.
Hmm.
Dude, the week later I'm like, yo, I need a game. Like it as crazy as the CRB is, as wild as Legion is right now, it's so interesting that I'm more engaged with it than I
Hmm.
ever was. And
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing, but these rules are making it like that's why the craziness is there. Because now we have to experience these things. Because who would have thought you're gonna get a chariot of death shoved down your throat and then smoke and flames and you see red eyes and just glossy black just walking forward. You're like, oh no.
I just see Dark Troopers all across the tournaments now because
So
they're just so good.
do you think do you think Dark Troopers are dead on arrival because Blizzard Force? You think
Oh
Remnants will
no.
have some ground against? Is would Remnant be in any way, shape, or form, if not a world beater, at least a decent counter to Blizzard Force?
I don't think it's a decent counter to Blizzard Force. I don't know
I don't think
because
it's
like
dead on arrival. People are saying
no,
Dark Troopers are dead on
who's
arrival.
saying
I don't
that?
believe that at all. It's all over the Discord, dude.
So I hate comparing things to other lists or to other like faction stuff. So like the whole Force debacle, like I think of that as like its own bubble, its own situation. Like it's really strong and it's the top thing right now. But like as the Dark Troopers a unit, like I think they're strong in itself. As
It's the amount of impact, the amount of critical that's factoring into this. I think it's a less of a conversation if you can heal the Dark Troopers.
Well, it's kind of like my list that I won LVO last year with, right? The two spiders. If they were still like didn't get nerfed, then they're still that strong. You just put rockets on B1s, and then the Dark Troopers don't have a
I
chance.
think the Ion Spiders are a good counter to the Dark Troopers.
But they're too expensive now.
Dude, you have the cheapest core. You don't get to say too expensive.
I want, I want.
All that does is it takes away your 40-point bid.
Listen, I want my B1s to have heavy weapons and spiders decked out, and Kalani, and Maul, and Dooku, and Asajj, all in the same list, bro.
Oh, you're fucking killing me.
No,
And I want my phase one clones to be 40 points, but that's not happening.
yeah, I feel like it's not Blizzard Force is still in its like own bubble that's still good against everything because the amount of impact it has, it can counter armor pretty good. The amount of range it has, it can hit things pretty far, and the amount of flanking it could do. Not
Do
to
you
and
think
Force user Darth Vader.
do you think pre nerf uh double ion spider has would be a solid contender to offload Blizzard Force with the amount of ion you're pushing through? You essentially have the same shot as the HRUs, but you're way more lethal when it comes to pegging the bikes.
No, because I feel like even if you were to eye on the bikes, well, you could technically like take them out, right? But eye on the bikes,
God?
I know, right?
Hi, Riker.
I I Ion on a repulsor vehicle isn't that great because one doesn't have a what's the word I'm looking for? Their compulsory move because
Compulsory.
they just lose the aim. They still firing, they just lose the aim.
That's
Um,
still less aim. I mean,
True,
it's a,
but I mean,
your
it's
reds are gonna hit, your blacks are maybe, and the whites. That's where the crits come from.
we'll look at it this way. The spiders are armor 3, so all the bikes have impact, and then
Yeah, now
the
that I think
HR
about it, you're
the
right.
HRUs are 6 dice, range 4, and have impact 1 or impact. Yeah, I think it's impact 1. I could be wrong.
For what? No, they don't have. Is that they take the DC 15
They take the one
or
with
the
the 2
DC?
reds, and then
Yeah, that's Impact One. Sorry,
yeah,
yeah,
and then the other one has a red and 3 whites, which kind
yeah.
of
No,
swings it.
because Kyle was saying it's like Impact 10
Yeah,
on
yeah. Impact
Blizzard.
10. Yeah. So it still destroys spiders really well. And then, it's yeah. But like I said,
AMG, bring back Rexstar.
Blizzard
Rexstar's
is
our
the
only
only
hope.
one in its own little bubble that it's just there, in my opinion.
We're
And
gonna get a poster of Dash with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he has Rexstar,
let's
and
throw
then
it.
he destroys Kyle at Adepticon.
Oh my God, dude. I can't wait for DevCon. It's gonna be gross, dude. It's gonna be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah,
So
sweet.
all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Later.